Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Alien SOS ignites fury. The Deathworlder Fleet's Merciless Retaliation. The emergency transmission echoed across the vast emptiness of space, carrying the desperate cries of the Vulcan people. Their world, once peaceful and bright, now faced total destruction at the hands of the Kizar Collective. The Vulcans were known throughout the galaxy for their beautiful art and advanced medical technology, but they had never developed weapons or warships. They believed in harmony above all else. As their cities burned and their people died, they sent out one final hope, an SOS message on every frequency they could access. The message was simple: help us, we are dying. The Krestnar show no mercy. The message traveled for days, passing through countless star systems. Many species heard it, most ignored it. Some felt pity, but did nothing. A few brought the matter to the Galactic Council, where representatives debated what should be done while more Vulcans died. But in a distant arm of the galaxy, on board the United Earth Fleet vessel Thunderchild, Commander Juke Park sat straight in her command chair as the message played throughout the bridge. Her dark eyes narrowed as she listened to the translation. "Play it again," she ordered, her voice quiet but firm. The young communications officer nodded and repeated the message. The bridge crew fell silent, watching their commander. They knew that look. Park had seen such things before. "How far is Vulcan from our position?" she asked. 4 days at maximum speed, Commander," replied Navigator Minnow, his fingers already plotting the course. Park nodded slowly. "The Council will debate this for weeks. By then, there will be nothing left to save." "We don't have orders to intervene," said First Officer Sun Wukang. He didn't disagree with her. He simply stated the fact. Park stood up and walked to the main viewing screen, looking at the stars beyond. 15 years ago, I watched the Zell people burn while the Council debated. 3 billion souls. I was too junior to make a difference then." She turned to face her crew. "I'm not too junior now." The bridge crew exchanged glances. They all knew the story. Park had been a junior officer during humanity's first contact with the genocide. The experience had shaped her career and her reputation as an officer who acted when others hesitated. "Set course for the Vulcan system, maximum speed," Park ordered. "Alert all ships in our battle group to prepare for combat operations." "The Council," Kang began. "I'll deal with the Council," Park said firmly. "Sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, especially when lives are at stake." Throughout the battle group, alarms sounded as 5 human warships changed course. The Thunderchild led the formation, followed by the destroyers Defiant, Valkyrie, and Sentinel, with the medical frigate Nightingale bringing up the rear. Park called a meeting of all ship captains via hologram. "I won't order you to follow me," she told them. "This action is my decision alone. If any of you wish to continue to the scheduled rendezvous point, I'll understand." Captain Yunji Kim of the Valkyrie spoke first. "The Kizar have never faced humans in battle. They're about to learn why Earth is classified as a death world." No ship broke formation as the battle group traveled. Park studied everything known about both species. The Vulcans were tall, slender beings with 4 arms and iridescent skin. Their civilization was over 20,000 years old, and they were known for their philosophy of nonviolence. The Kizar, in contrast, were a relatively young species that had expanded rapidly through conquest. They stripped planets of resources, caring nothing for indigenous life. They had 6 limbs, thick exoskeletons, and evolved in a low-gravity environment. "They target peaceful worlds deliberately," Park told her officers. "Their strategy relies on overwhelming species who can't fight back. They've never fought humans before." "We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day," said Tactical Officer Kin Choi with a grim smile. "Our gravity is twice what they're used to. Our bodies can withstand forces that would crush them." Park nodded. "More importantly, they've never seen our weapons technology. The galactic standard is energy shields and plasma weapons. We developed in a different direction." The humans had indeed taken a unique path. While other species focused on energy manipulation, humans had perfected kinetic weapons, rail guns that fired metal projectiles at incredible speeds, point defense systems that could track and destroy incoming missiles with pinpoint accuracy, and armor that could withstand massive impacts. As they approached Vulcan space, Park recorded a message to Earth Command explaining her actions. "I take full responsibility for this decision," she concluded, "but I cannot stand by while another genocide occurs." The Vulcans asked for help. Humanity will answer. On the fourth day, long-range sensors detected the carnage ahead. Three Can cities already lay in ruins. Seven massive Kaiser ships hung in orbit, their mining beams cutting deep into the planet's surface, extracting valuable minerals with no regard for the life below. Battle stations, Park ordered, her voice calm despite the anger building inside her. All ships deploy to attack Formation Delta. Weapons hot but hold fire until my command. Throughout the human vessels, crews rushed to their posts. Weapon systems powered up. Point defense batteries came online. In the launch bays, pilots climbed into their fighters. Open a channel to the Kaiser Fleet, Park commanded. The communications officer worked for a moment. Channel open, Commander. Park stood tall, her uniform crisp, her expression resolute. This is Commander Jadot Park of the United Earth Fleet. You are committing acts of genocide against a sentient species. Withdraw immediately or face consequences. For a long moment, there was silence. Then a harsh, clicking voice responded. The translator converted it to human speech. Deathworlders. We've heard of your kind. Primitive savages playing with technology beyond your understanding. This system is now Kaiser territory. Interfere and be destroyed. On the main screen appeared a Kressner commander, its exoskeleton gleaming with decorations, its 6 eyes fixed on Park with contempt. Park didn't flinch. She had expected this response. The Kaiser had conquered 12 systems. They had never known defeat. They had never met humans. All ships, Park said quietly. Target the nearest Kaiser vessel. Fire at will. The Thunderchild's main railgun roared to life, accelerating a tungsten rod to a significant fraction of light speed. It crossed the space between the ships in seconds, and before the Kaiser could raise their energy shields, the projectile tore through their lead dreadnought from stem to stern. The stunned silence that followed was broken by alarms as the Kaiser fleet turned to face this unexpected threat, abandoning their attack on the planet below. The battle for Can had begun. The human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Can system. The 5 warships moved in perfect formation, their dark hulls absorbing the light from Can's dying sun. From the bridge of the Thunderchild, Commander Jupe Park watched the main view screen with cold fury. Status report, she ordered. Tactical Officer Henchoi's fingers flew across his console. 3 major Can cities destroyed. Population centers burning. 7 Kressner harvester ships in low orbit. They're stripping the planet's atmosphere of rare gases. Park's jaw tightened. The Kaiser hadn't just come to conquer. They had come to strip mine an inhabited world. The Vulcans were simply in the way. Light signs? She asked. Medical Officer Donyun looked up from her station, her face pale. Billions of Cans still alive, Commander, but their life support systems are failing as the atmosphere thins. Without intervention, planetary death occurs in 14 days. Park nodded grimly. Then we have no time to waste. Communications, open a channel to the Kressner fleet. Channel open, Commander. The bridge crew fell silent as Park stood before the communications array. Her uniform was crisp, her posture straight. She looked exactly like what she was, a human warrior about to go to battle. This is Commander Ju Park of the United Earth Fleet, she said, her voice firm and clear. You are committing acts of genocide against a sentient species. Withdraw immediately or face consequences. For several long seconds, there was no response. Then the view screen flickered, and a Kaiser appeared. It was larger than Park had expected, with 6 jointed limbs and a hard exoskeleton that gleamed with embedded technology. Its face was a nightmare of compound eyes and clicking mandibles. I am Supreme Commander Zorl of the Kressner Collective, the alien said, its voice translated into flat, emotionless human speech. Deathworlders. We've heard of your kind. Primitive savages playing with technology beyond your understanding. This system is now Kaiser territory. Interfere and be destroyed. Park didn't flinch. She had faced alien threats before. You have 1 minute to begin withdrawal procedures, or we will open fire. The Kaiser made a sound that might have been laughter. 5 primitive ships against our fleet. Your species truly is as foolish as they say. We have conquered 12 systems. Our technology is centuries beyond yours. 50 seconds, Park replied. The Kaiser's compound eyes flashed with bioluminescent anger. You dare to threaten the collective? Our harvesting will continue. The Cans were warned to leave. Their failure to do so is not our concern. 40 seconds. Around the bridge, the crew prepared for battle. Weapon systems powered up. Defensive screens activated. In the launch bays below, fighter pilots climbed into their craft. "You cannot possibly believe you can defeat us," the Kaiser said. "Your ships will be added to our collection of trophies. Your crews will feed our young." 30 seconds. The Kaiser's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of agitation. "Very well. If you insist on this foolishness, we will oblige. Your deaths will serve as a warning to others who might interfere with collective business." The transmission ended abruptly. "They're powering up weapons," Choi reported. "Energy signatures indicate plasma cannons. Standard Galactic Council technology." Park nodded. This was what she had expected. The Kaiser, like most spacefaring species, relied on energy weapons and shields. Humanity had taken a different path. "Target their lead vessel," she ordered. "Main rail gun, full power." "Target locked," Choi confirmed. Park took her seat in the command chair. "All ships, battle formation Delta. Fighters launch on my mark." She paused, looking at each member of her bridge crew. "The Khazar believe their technology makes them invincible. Let's show them what humans can do. Fire." The Thunderchild shuddered as its main rail gun discharged. The weapon was simple in concept but devastating in execution. An electromagnetically accelerated tungsten rod launched at a significant fraction of light speed. On the view screen, they watched the projectile cross the space between the ships in seconds. The Khazar dreadnought, still in the process of raising its energy shields, had no time to react. The rod punched through its hull from stem to stern, its kinetic energy converting to heat that melted everything in its path. The bridge crew watched in silence as secondary explosions rippled along the Khazar vessel. It broke apart, debris spinning outward in a slowly expanding cloud. For a moment, nothing happened. The Khazar fleet seemed frozen in shock. "They've never seen kinetic weapons like ours," Choi said quietly. "Their shields are designed to stop energy attacks, not physical objects moving at relativistic speeds." Then the Khazar fleet erupted into action. 6 remaining ships turned toward the human battle group, abandoning their harvesting operations. "All fighters launch," Park ordered. "Target their weapon systems and engines. Destroyers, form up on the Thunderchild. Medical frigate Nightingale, fall back and prepare to receive casualties." Across the void of space, bright flashes marked the launch of Khazar fighters, spindly, insect-like craft that moved with surprising speed. The human fighters met them halfway, their more robust designs instantly recognizable against the stars. "Khazar vessels firing," Choi warned. Brilliant beams of plasma lanced out from the alien ships, beautiful and deadly, but the human vessels were already moving, their engines pushing them into evasive patterns practiced countless times in training. "Return fire," Park ordered. "All weapons." The human ships responded with a barrage of their own. Railgun projectiles, missile swarms, and point defense lasers. Where the Khazar relied on raw power, the humans used precision and diversity of attack. In the fighter engagement zone, the differences became even clearer. The Khazar pilots were good, perhaps better than the humans in terms of raw skill, but they had evolved in low-gravity environments and couldn't withstand the forces that human pilots endured as a matter of course. As the dogfight intensified, Khazar pilots began to black out during high-G maneuvers that their human counterparts executed without difficulty. On the Thunderchild bridge, Park watched the tactical display as the battle unfolded. The human ships were taking damage. Plasma impacts against their armored hulls left glowing scars, but they remained operational. "The Khazar are regrouping," Choi reported. "They're forming a defensive perimeter around their harvester ships." Park nodded. "I still think they can win this. Communications, open a channel to all Khazar vessels." When the channel opened, she spoke clearly. "Khazar fleet, this is your final warning. One of your dreadnoughts is destroyed. Your fighters are being decimated. Withdraw now, or we will be forced to continue this demonstration." The response came immediately, Supreme Commander Zorl's voice filled with rage. "We will never retreat from vermin. The collective does not recognize your authority." Park shook her head. "As you wish. All ships, target their flagship. Full barrage." The human fleet responded as one, every weapon focusing on the Khazar command vessel. Under such concentrated fire, even their advanced shields couldn't hold. The flagship's hull buckled, atmosphere venting into space as explosions rippled along its length. As the flagship burned, something changed in the Khazar fleet's behavior. Their formation became ragged, their responses slower. "They're centrally controlled," Choi realized. "With their flagship damaged, their command structure is breaking down." Park leaned forward. Press the advantage. All ships advance on the harvesters. It's time to show the Khizar that humanity takes genocide very seriously. The human fleet surged forward, weapons blazing, toward the heart of the Khizar formation. The battle for Vkan space shocked all who witnessed it. Across the galaxy, members of the Galactic Council gathered around screens and holographic displays, unable to believe what they were seeing. Humans. The newcomers to galactic society, the strange beings from a planet classified as a death world, were systematically destroying a Khizar battle fleet that had conquered a dozen systems. Lieutenant Commander Taein Kim stood in the Thunderchild's launch bay, checking his combat armor one final time. Around him, 30 Marines did the same, their movements quick and precise. Each soldier wore powered armor that added to their already impressive strength and protected them from vacuum and enemy fire. "Remember," Kim said, his voice calm as he addressed his team, "the Khizar evolved in a low-gravity environment. Their natural strength is about one-third of a human's. Their exoskeletons are tough, but brittle under pressure. Hit them hard and fast." The soldiers nodded. They had trained for this. Boarding actions were dangerous, but humans excelled at close-quarters combat. "Commander Park has disabled their main engines," Kim continued. "Our goal is to capture their command center intact. We need their navigational data to find their home system." The ship's AI announced, "Boarding craft ready for launch. Target vessel shields down. Hull breach created on Deck 7. Kim pulled on his helmet, the faceplate lighting up with tactical data. "Let's show them what Deathworlders can do." The boarding craft launched from the Thunderchild, crossing the space between ships in seconds. It slammed into the already damaged section of the Khizar vessel, cutting through the weakened hull with focused breaching charges. As atmosphere vented explosively into space, the human soldiers pushed forward inside the Khizar ship. Alarms blared. The air was thin by human standards, but breathable. Emergency lights cast red shadows across alien corridors. Kim led from the front, his rifle raised, scanning for targets. They found resistance at the first junction. 6 Kressmer soldiers, their exoskeletons enhanced with battle armor, opened fire with plasma weapons. The shots splashed against the corridor walls, leaving scorch marks in the metal. Kim didn't hesitate. Flash and clear. A Marine tossed a stun grenade. The humans closed their eyes as the device detonated, filling the corridor with blinding light and sound. The Khizar, their compound eyes more sensitive than human ones, reeled in pain. The humans surged forward. Kim fired 3 precise shots, kicking down the lead Khizar. Around him, his soldiers engaged the others at close range. What happened next demonstrated why humans were feared across the galaxy. A Khizar soldier swung a powerful limb at Private Jun Hoen. The blow would have shattered the bones of most species. Hoen caught the limb with one armored hand, the servos in his suit whining as they amplified his already considerable strength. With a quick twist, he broke the alien's arm and drove it to the floor. Nearby, Sergeant Minoan faced 2 Khizar at once. She moved with speed that seemed impossible in combat armor, ducking under their attacks and striking back with devastating efficiency. Her combat knife found gaps in their exoskeletons, and both aliens fell within seconds. Kim checked his tactical display. 15 decks to the command center. Move out. As the boarding team fought their way upward through the ship, another battle was taking place in the digital realm. Aboard the Thunderchild, Lieutenant Eunuch Choi led a team of cyber warfare specialists. Their target, the Khizar Battle Network. "Their security is good," Sean muttered as her fingers flew across the interface, but they never expected someone to attack this way. Like their weapons technology, human cyber warfare had evolved differently from Galactic Council standards. Where most species built perfect but rigid defenses, humans created adaptive, virus-like programs that could change tactics on the fly. "I'm in," Choi announced after 20 minutes of intense work. "I have access to their command protocols." Commander Park nodded. "Disable their weapon systems, then lock down all compartments except the route to the bridge. I want to funnel the Khizar defenders into Kim's path." On the Khizar ship, Kim's team noticed the change immediately. Doors that should have been secured slid open before them. Enemy soldiers became trapped behind suddenly locked bulkheads. "They've compromised the ship systems," Kim told his team. "Push forward." The remaining resistance was fierce but futile. The Khizar fought bravely, but they were not prepared for the sheer physical power of humans evolved on a planet with higher gravity and more dangerous predators. Humans moved faster, hit harder, and endured more punishment than the Kressmer could withstand. In one memorable encounter, a Kressner commander in heavy battle armor charged Corporal Park. The alien was nearly 8 feet tall, its armor bristling with weapons. Park, who stood just over 5.5 feet, didn't back down. As the Kaiser swung a massive power claw at her head, she ducked inside its reach and drove her powered fist upward with all her strength. The blow lifted the alien commander off its feet and sent it crashing into the ceiling. 17 minutes after breaching the hole, Kim's team reached the bridge. The final defense was the most desperate. 12 elite Kaiser guards protected Supreme Commander Zorel, who stood at the center of the command platform. "Surrender," Kim called out, his translator converting his words to Kressner language. "Your fleet is defeated. Your systems are compromised. There's no need for more bloodshed." Zorel's response needed no translation. The Supreme Commander raised a plasma pistol and fired directly at Kim. The shot would have killed most beings, but Kim's armor absorbed much of the energy, and his naturally denser bones and muscles, evolved on Earth's higher gravity, allowed him to remain standing despite the impact. "Take them," Kim ordered. The Marine team moved with terrifying coordination. Stun grenades disabled the Kaiser's sensitive vision, while precisely aimed shots took down their guards. 3 Marines tackled Zorel, the Supreme Commander's strength meaningless against their combined power. In 17 minutes from breach to capture, the humans had taken control of a Kaiser command ship. "Bridge secured," Kim reported through his comlink. "Supreme Commander Zorel is in custody. Minimal casualties on our side." On the Thunderchild, Commander Park allowed herself a small smile. "Well done, Lieutenant Commander. Secure all prisoners and prepare for extraction. The cyber team will download their navigational data." Across the battle zone, the remaining Kressner ships faltered as their command network collapsed. Their coordinated defense fell apart, making them easy targets for the human fleet. On the surface of Cannes, the native population watched the battle with a mixture of fear and hope. They had believed themselves doomed when the Kaiser arrived. No species had ever successfully resisted the collective. Yet here were these humans, these strange, powerful beings from a world so dangerous it was classified as a death world, fighting and winning on their behalf. Evcan, elder named Tile, watching from the planet's largest remaining observatory, turned to his colleagues. "They move like predators," he said quietly, "yet they fight to protect us." Another elder nodded. "The Galactic Council told us to fear the humans if they ever left their world. They said humans were too violent, too aggressive to join galactic society." Tile's 4 arms gestured in a pattern expressing profound gratitude. "Today, I thank the stars for human violence." Above them, the battle continued to turn in humanity's favor. The human ships moved with aggressive precision, their tactics overwhelming the disorganized Kaiser resistance.